Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Betting Insights. I am Timothy alongside Sergio.
Hey Tim, hey everybody.
Yes, welcome, everybody. As you know, we are giving out betting tips and predictions for five different club competitions across Europe: Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, Eredivisie, and the Premier League. Now, for the upcoming weekend, we have no La Liga games, so just four competitions. And also, we are giving out our best bets every weekend. Last week, I gave out seven best bets, went 2 and 5. Sergio, you gave out five, went 2 and 3. Little bit better than I did, but still not a great week.
Yeah, no, not good at all. So this weekend, hope for a better result.
Yeah, and we kind of actually knew that a little bit. Coming off an international break, you never know how teams and how motivated teams are to start a competition again. So this week should be much better. I really like the picks this week, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get to the picks for this weekend. Today we are starting with the Premier League. First game on the schedule: Crystal Palace hosting Manchester City. Crystal Palace wins set at 10.5. Manchester City wins set at 1.33. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, I like the over 2.5 here, and I don't expect Crystal Palace to necessarily score a goal, but I will still take the over 2.5. And listen, you can't go against City, Arsenal, and Liverpool this late into the season. These teams will be fighting to win the Premier League, so I guess you have to take City in this spot. City will win this game, and they're obviously the better team, but if I have a play here, it would be the over 2.5 goals. Do you have something here, Sergio?
Yeah, the over 2.5 seems possible, but still, um, I'm still thinking of maybe Crystal Palace scoring a goal, so at least one. So
Well, then it's definitely the over 2.5.
yeah, but maybe City win and both teams to score. I get because City will win, that's for sure. Crystal Palace scoring a goal, that's
It's possible, but I wouldn't bet my money on Crystal Palace scoring goals, so I would just take City and the over 2.5. That should give you a very good odd. All
yeah.
right, but we agree. City will win this game, and like I said, you can't go against City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. They're basically fighting all three to win the Premier League, so they'll do their best to win every game, every remaining game. All right, let's get to the next game. Luton Town hosting Bournemouth. Luton wins set at 3.75. Bournemouth wins set at 1.95. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, I think this number is a little bit inflated, the 3.5, because the first game saw 7 goals, but usually when the second game comes around, it's usually a disappointment. So obviously, I don't expect 7 goals in this game. So I'm looking closely at the under 3.5. Luton, one of the teams fighting to climb out of relegation. Bournemouth picked up form again, undefeated in the last five and three straight wins, but all home games, while Luton is coming off a 2-game road trip against Arsenal and Tottenham, so tough opponents. These two teams met like 2 weeks ago, and Luton had a 3-0 lead and still blew the lead and lost 4-3. So, what can we expect here?
Yeah, I'm going for a Luton win. Just like you said, they have two difficult games. Yeah, the last two games were very difficult for them, and I think that if they keep up the same form against Bournemouth, um, it should be a win for them in what 7, 8 games. So yeah, I'm I'm feeling a Luton win here.
Yeah, if you look at the last 5 games, I know they haven't won any of the last 5 games, but the last one was against Arsenal, 2-0. Basically, somewhat a good performance. Lost 2-1 against Tottenham, also a good performance. Then a draw against Nottingham was a 1-1. And of course, before that, you had the 4-3 loss against Bournemouth, where they were up 3-0. So I think they will be very cautious in this game, and that's why I like the under 3.5. But I would also play a double chance for Luton Town. I kind of agree with you. If they keep up the same form as they did in the last 4 games. Being at home, they should sneak out at least a point here. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Let's get to the next game. Wolves hosting West Ham. Wolves win set at 2.55. West Ham win set at 2.8. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, neither team is in form here. Both won one of the last five. and Wolves has lost 3 of the last 6 home games. But overall, they have been solid throughout the season at home, while West Ham has won just 2 of the last 10 away games, and their away form has not been great since the start of the season. So I'm gonna do a quick bet builder here in this game. I'm gonna take a double chance for Wolves, and I'm gonna take over 1.5 goals for the game. That gives you an odd of 1.7. Good value. I like that bet. Are you doing something, Sergio?
Yeah, actually, I'm leaning more towards a draw because Wolverhampton, last draw was against Burnley. Yeah, wasn't a perfect game if you're playing against Burnley. Yeah, but still, only 3 points separates them. I think both team will be very, cautious in the attack. So I'm not seeing a lot of goals scoring, and that's why I'm feeling more like a draw here.
Yeah, and that's why I bumped the over 2.5 goals down to over 1.5 goals, because I can see both teams scoring. This may be a 1-1 draw. And the lean is towards Wolves because West Ham will be facing Bayer Leverkusen next Thursday in the Europa League. So obviously Wolves has a little bit more to play here this game. West Ham will have one eye on the Europa League game against Bayer Leverkusen. So I believe Wolves will get at least a draw here, and I can see over 1.5 goals in the game. So that's why I would do that bet builder for this game.
Yeah, and maybe even a win because they're playing at home. So yeah, it's a good bet then.
Yes. All right. Next game, Everton hosting Burnley. Everton wins set at 1.67. Burnley wins set at 5.4. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, this is a relegation battle here, and hard to trust either team. I would just lean towards Everton because they're playing at home, and obviously they're a slightly better team. And this late into the season, relegation battles, the home teams is usually they're usually very motivated. So that's why I would lean towards Everton here, but man, hard to trust either team. Are you doing something here?
Yeah, hard to trust either, but I think it. Hmm. Everton hasn't won a game in 5 or 6 even, so yeah, they should get closer to a win and against Burnley, yeah, I think the last or the remaining games they have, I think Burnley is one of the teams that they can beat. So I'm going for a win for Everton.
Yeah, and Everton's winless streak is actually much longer than 6. So I would agree with you. They're getting closer to a win, and obviously Burnley, one of the worst away teams in the Premier League. So the lean is obviously Everton here.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Next up, Aston Villa hosting Brentford. Speaking of teams that are bad on the road, Brentford. Villa wins set at 1.71. Brentford wins set at 4.9. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, Villa lost to City in midweek, and their home form has been dipping in the last 2 months. And going back to the start of the season, they were one of the best home teams, and while Brentford was one of the worst home away teams. Sorry. So you just have to take Villa in this spot, even though Villa is, like I said, their home form has been dipping the last 2 months. But listen, man, you just gotta take Villa in this spot, right?
Yeah, yes, of course. I'm going for definitely going for a Villa win here. Playing at home, playing against yeah, let's say a low scoring team. So yeah, I'm going for a Villa win here.
And I would sprinkle something here on a Villa win and both teams to score. Both teams to score is set at 1.56. So obviously the bookmakers are expecting Brentford to score a goal here. And I also think Brentford can score a goal here. So I would just sprinkle something on a Villa win and both teams to score. But obviously the bet for this game is just an outright Villa win.
Yes, of course. And for the Champions League spot, yeah, they have to win because Tottenham is breathing down their neck. So
Obviously, yes. And they're 1 game up on Tottenham. Also 2 points up on Tottenham. So if Tottenham were to win that game, Tottenham obviously would climb over them. So they don't have any room for error.
no.
All right. Next up, Fulham hosting Newcastle. Fulham wins set at 2.25. Newcastle wins set at 3.1. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, these teams already met twice this season, and Newcastle just dominated both matchups. But I think things will be different this time around. Newcastle still dealing with a lot of injuries, although some players have been moved to questionable. But Fulham, they have been solid at home throughout the season, and Newcastle is just a very tough team to trust on the road, especially dealing with the injuries. So I'm just leaning towards Fulham here. I might pick them for a win. Or are you doing something here?
Yeah, Fulham's last win against Tottenham was pretty impressive. So I think that if they, mm, uh, if they host Newcastle, I think they're gonna try to do almost the same because they're closer. They're also closer to Newcastle. What's the difference is like 5 points.
Yeah, 5 points.
5 points. Yeah. So to climb into the top 10, Newcastle is one of the teams they need to beat. So I'm going for a Fulham win actually.
Yeah, and I can see goals in this game as we have seen in the last Fulham games. A lot of goals on both sides. So I would take a double chance for Fulham and I would take the over 2.5 goals for the game. I'm not sure about the over 3.5, but I would take the over 2.5. All right. Next up, Brighton hosting Arsenal. Brighton wins set at 5.2. Arsenal wins set at 1.67. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, obviously, Brighton is somewhat a good home team, solid. But like I mentioned with City, you just can't go against these teams. Arsenal, the Premier League will mean a lot to them if they were to win it. So obviously, also no room for error. Liverpool and City also in the race. So Arsenal will just win this game, and I think it's a lot of value given how good Arsenal is. 1.67 against Brighton. I just have to pound Arsenal in this spot. Are you doing something?
Yeah, no, this game not, but like you said, Justin, I think it will even be an easy Arsenal win. So yeah, I don't think they can't afford any error. So a win for them is a must. So I think that they're good enough, especially for Brighton, to win this game.
Yes, for me, it's gonna be one of my favorite bets. Like I said, not a lot of value, 1.67, but good value given the gap between Arsenal and Brighton. So I'm gonna pound Arsenal in the spot. And next up, another team, the third team that can't afford to drop points if they want to win the Premier League. Manchester United hosting Liverpool. United win set at 4.75. Liverpool win set at 1.68. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now United was in in a thriller. You would you call it a thriller against Chelsea?
Yes, it was a very interesting game, and I would call it a thriller this time.
All right. And they still figure out new ways to lose games. Obviously, they give up a 3-2 lead in the last 10 minutes. And United, man, they're such a difficult team to predict. If things are clicking, I can easily see them beating Liverpool, but you never know which United team is going to show up. And listen, man, if you have to trust the team, it's got to be Liverpool in this spot. Like I said, Liverpool also a team that can't afford to drop points being in the race for the Premier League here. What are you doing here?
Yeah, United, they went to the limit, I think, or they had to go to the limit. I think it was 10 minutes or 15 minutes, even almost extra time,
Yes.
something like that. Yeah, so I think that playing against Liverpool next will be a heavy one for them. Liverpool had it a little bit easier with Sheffield. Yeah, so I'm still just going for a Liverpool win. It will be a difficult game for United, especially playing two games on a high level.
Yeah, back to back.
Yeah, back
And
to back. Yeah.
United already obviously played against Liverpool this season in the FA Cup, the quarterfinals. They won 4-3. And if you look at United at home, the last three meetings against Liverpool, they've all won. So kind of surprising there.
Yeah, I think so also, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a wild stat.
Surprising.
Yeah, that's kind of a wild stat. Was also shocked when I looked that one up. All right. Next up, Sheffield hosting Chelsea. Sheffield wins set at 7. Chelsea wins set at 1.44. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, I have a hard time just trusting Chelsea on the road since the start of the season. But listen, man, Sheffield is not playing for anything. But neither is Chelsea. So what are you doing here?
Yeah, nothing actually because there's not a lot to gain on playing on or betting on Chelsea, and yeah, Sheffield United, they won't win. Maybe over 3.5, but that's even a
That's a
risk,
stretch.
too
Yeah, that's a
risky one.
stretch. Yeah.
So no, I'm this one is a stay away from me.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I'm also staying away from this one. All right, let's get to the next one. Tottenham hosting Nottingham Forest. Tottenham wins set at 1.43. Forest wins set at 7.5. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, Tottenham, they don't have a chance to win the Premier League, but they're fighting for the top
Champions
four
League.
spot. Yes, Champions League spot for next season, like we mentioned earlier. So they're playing at home. And I know Forest is also somewhat in a relegation battle. They're 3 points in a over in a above Luton, so they also need points, which is why I like Nottingham Forest to score a goal in this game. So I would play Tottenham and both teams to score, or maybe just both teams to score set at 1.63. But I do expect Tottenham to win this game. Are you doing something here?
Maybe over 3.5, maybe. But like you said, both teams to score, Tottenham win is the most obvious one.
Yeah. All right. That wraps up the Premier League. Let's get to the Eredivisie. First game on the schedule, Sparta hosting Heracles. Sparta wins set at 1.65. Heracles wins set at 5.4. Line for the total goal set at 2.5. Now Sparta back-to-back impressive wins, scoring 8 goals in the process, but one was against Vitesse, so obviously not that impressive. While Heracles is coming off a very impressive victory, just beating the brakes of AZ 5-0.
Yeah, yeah, they made tomato soup out of AZ.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it was a very embarrassing defeat for AZ, especially the game for them that's coming up, but we'll discuss that later.
yes.
Yeah, but Sparta win, and actually Heracles after a huge win like that, you know,
Letdown spot.
yeah, the hot spot. So I don't see the winning against Sparta, especially not the form that Sparta has now. The last 2 games. 4-1 against Vitesse, and I think it was Fortuna, also 4 goals scored. So,
Yes.
yeah, so for Heracles, Sparta will be hard not to crack.
Yeah, but I can see Heracles scoring a goal in this game. So I would play both teams to score is set at 1.7. A Sparta win is set at 1.65. So if you play both teams to score, you get slightly more value. I would play both teams to score now. Heracles going on the road, they have failed to score in 4 straight games and obviously lost 5 straight. But I can see them scoring a goal against Sparta here, so I would play both teams to score. That's my play here for this game. All right, next up, PSV hosting AZ. PSV wins set at 1.42. AZ wins set at 8. Line for total goals, 3.5. Like you mentioned earlier, Sergio, AZ got beat the brakes off them by Heracles.
Yeah.
So confidence will be low heading into this game. What can we expect here?
Yeah, and PSV had let's say a good recovery match after
Yeah, I guess Excelsior. Yes.
after the defeat against NEC. So I just think that it will be maybe a 1 or 2-0 win for PSV. I don't see AZ winning in Eindhoven, especially not after what happened to them in against Heracles. It won't be a huge score, but um, a win for PSV.
Yeah, PSV being at home, they should win this game. And although the title is all but secure, they're 9 points above Feyenoord. You want to secure it as fast as possible. So given they're playing at home, They're out of European football, nothing to play for there. So all their focus is on the Eredivisie and becoming champions. So they're playing at home. They will win this game. They will be motivated. So I agree with you. PSV should win this game. All right, next up, PEC hosting Excelsior. PEC win set at 2.04. Excelsior win set at 3.6. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, another relegation battle. PEC has not won in 8 games, while Excelsior has not won in 9 games. So, Sergio, which team is closer to a win?
I would say Peck, because Peck had okay, against Utrecht. It was an off day for them against Utrecht, but usually the way they play is not that bad. So I think Excelsior is in a worse position. They are, I think, 16, the 16th team in the league, I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
16. Yeah.
yeah, 16.
So right now they're in the playoff spot for the relegation.
Yes, and I think that Zwolle is still in better form. They're playing at home, so Excelsior is gonna be another loss for them.
Yeah, but one thing I don't like about PEC in this spot, PEC has won 3 home games all season. So I have a really hard time trusting PEC, but it's even harder to trust Excelsior, especially on the road. They're just awful. So I would lean towards PEC, but I'm not betting this game. This game is a stay away for me.
And also Excelsior, I think their star player is injured, so yeah, that's another letdown for them. I think he got injured against PSV. He got injured, so yeah, and I don't think he's playing for the remaining of the season. So
Alright.
so it's even more difficult for Excelsior.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I have a harder time trusting Excelsior, but also not a lot of faith in PEC. So, like I said, stay away for me that game. Let's get to the next one. Twente hosting Fortuna. Twente win set at 1.4. Fortuna win set at 9. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Also another game with which I don't have a bet on. Twente should win this game. They're playing at home, a very good home team, but low value 1.4. So I'm just staying away from this one. Are you doing something?
No, but Twente, after Feyenoord, you know, they drawed against, who was it? Oh yeah, Volendam. Yeah, against Volendam. And Twente, creeps a little bit closer. So I would think that Feyenoord is playing against Ajax this weekend also. So Twente is maybe
Yeah, maybe
Maybe
motivated
they
to
really
the
want to win this game against
yeah.
Fortuna to get even closer to Feyenoord, to turn up the heat a little bit. So yeah, it should be an easy 20 win even.
Yeah, Twente has lost 2 home games all season, one against PSV, in which they received a red card, so no knock there. And the other one was a slip up against Utrecht, but playing against their old coach, weird things happen. So other than that, they have been terrific at home and they should continue that here. All right, next game, Vitesse hosting NEC. Vitesse wins set at 3.15. NEC wins set at 2.3. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, I've been wondering to take Vitesse in this spot, but man, I have I have a hard case to make for them. Are you
Yeah,
doing something here?
yeah, especially against Sparta. I don't know, the confidence is totally gone. This team, because losing at home against Sparta in the way that it happened, yeah, it's terrible. And NEC in a much better form now, so it will be a very difficult one for Vitesse. I think that they can't keep losing. They have to get a win, especially to keep their hopes alive, to stay in the Eredivisie. But I think it will be a difficult one for NEC. Maybe a draw, but I don't see Vitesse winning.
And you see back-to-back road games, while Vitesse is playing back-to-back home games, so that kind of slightly works into their favor. But I don't want to make too many cases for Vitesse here. You hit the nail on the head. They're just awful, so I can't take them. All right.
Maybe over 2.5 at 1.7. because I can see NEC scoring maybe 2 goals.
I can also see the
Not
over
really
2.5 hitting
score.
in this spot.
Yeah.
That would be my play here. Over 2.5 goals for this game.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Feyenoord hosting Ajax. Feyenoord wins set at 1.5. Ajax wins set at 6.75. Line for total goals 3.5. Now, listen. Obviously, Feyenoord has been the better team this season. Ajax, not their best season. And listen, man, 6.75 is kind of disrespectful.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say the same thing. I think they no, it's too much. They're exaggerating. I don't think that's fair towards Ajax. So Feyenoord also not in the best form even the
Yeah,
last
a draw against Volendam
yeah,
was very bad.
last and also the win against Utrecht. In the I think it was uh, on the edge there. So
Yeah,
uh,
true.
yeah, so they weren't that dominating. I would go for let's say double chance for Ajax. Over 3.5, I don't think, because usually they don't score a lot. These two teams, when they play against each other, it happened maybe two times the last 6 games they played against each other. I would just go for a double chance for Ajax.
Now, crazy odd here in this game. If you take a double chance for Ajax, it's set at 2.7. Obviously, over 2-1, that's great value. But if you just take a three-way handicap where Ajax starts the game up 2-0, so Feyenoord would have to win the game by at least a 3-goal margin, you get a odd for 1.64 for Ajax.
Hmm.
And that's just free money, right?
uh, um,
3-goal difference.
that's the
Feyenoord beating Ajax with at least a 3-goal difference margin. No
no,
way,
no, no,
no
no,
way,
no,
no
no.
way that's happening. No way that's happening.
No. Ajax is not that bad like in the beginning of the season. So yeah, no, that won't happen for sure.
So that's another one of my favorite plays for the weekend. Three-way handicap. Ajax starts the game up 2-0. Listen, man, for me, it's just free money there. I can't pass that one up. And I will also sprinkle something on a Ajax win and both teams to score. I think Ajax may have something cooking for this game.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, a little chance to take. Just sprinkle something. Don't go heavy on that one. But listen,
Yeah,
man, they can surprise. 6.75 is just disrespectful towards Ajax.
yeah, really, yeah. I couldn't believe it even. So yeah,
Uh,
I'm also going to sprinkle something on Ajax.
all right. Next up, Go Ahead Eagles against Almere City. Go Ahead Eagles win set at 1.63. Almere City win set at 5.6. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now listen, Almere City has lost 3 road games in the last 14, which is just wild for a team that was looking like the worst team in the league at the start of the season. It's just 3 road games they've lost in the last 14. They have scored 27 goals in 28 games. That's also a wild stat, given how relatively high they're sitting at the table. So this is just crazy. But listen, man, Go Ahead Eagles is a very good home team, so you just have to take the Eagles in this spot. Or are you doing something here?
Yeah, and Almere City, I'm sure that this is the only season that they're going to be able to do that, because the next season with a
Yeah, all the players will be going to Barcelona and Real Madrid.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and also with a streak of not winning in 6 games, 5 draws, so no, and they're still not in the relegation zone.
yeah.
So yeah, no, it's I'm going for a go-ahead win. Not much value, but still, I'm going for a go-ahead Eagles win.
Yeah, me also. All right. Next up, Volendam hosting RKC. Volendam wins set at 3.75. RKC wins set at 2. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Volendam, they picked up a draw against Feyenoord, which was kind of impressive, but they had like one shot on goal, 23% ball possession. So they just came into the game, said, we're gonna defend and not even try to score.
Yeah.
Um, Volendam is pretty much out of it, right? Maybe they have an outside chance of catching Excelsior, but they would have to win a lot of games, which I can't see happening. While RKC is just 2 points above the drop, so obviously they will be motivated to keep that distance with Excelsior and maybe even widen the gap. So I'm leaning towards RKC in this spot. Are you doing something here?
For the remaining 6 games, I think then Volendam needs to win 4.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and then the others need to drop all points. So it's almost impossible. But
Oh, yeah, almost impossible.
yeah, yeah, almost impossible. So yeah, so actually, I think they can still get RKC. That's the only remaining team in the last 6 games that I would say, yeah, they could get RKC. But um, I would go for a draw here. It's if they do the same that they did against Feyenoord, RKC won't score. So I
I would agree with you there. RKC has scored 25 goals in 28 games, but Volendam also 27 goals in 28 games. And although Volendam has a bad defense, if they defend here, I can see RKC being shut out. Maybe a 1-1 draw. But listen, man, that's why I would play the under 2.5 goals in this game. Just two very low scoring teams. I'm not expecting a lot of goals here. So that would be my play here, under 2.5 goals for the game.
yeah, I agree.
All right, next up, Heerenveen hosting Utrecht. Heerenveen wins set at 2.6. Utrecht wins set at 2.7. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, going back to October last year, Utrecht has lost 3 games total. That's kind of a wild stat. 2 were against Feyenoord, 1 came in the cup, 1 in the league, and the other one a league loss against Ajax. So they have been in great form since hiring the new coach. On the road, not a lot of wins, a lot of draws, but still no losses. Both teams still in the race for the playoffs somewhat, but Heerenveen has not won in 4. So what can we expect here?
That's why I'm leaning towards Heerenveen. I think what they did against Twente maybe boosted their confidence a little bit, and now they're playing at home again. So I'm leaning towards Heerenveen with maybe a double chance for Heerenveen.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. All right. That wraps up the Eredivisie. Next up, Serie A. Now, we're recording a little bit late this weekend, kind of pressed for time. First game would be Salernitana against Sassuolo, but we're going to skip that one. So, listen, man, it's not obviously not an interesting game. I would just lean towards Sassuolo because Salernitana obviously awful and Sassuolo has much more to play for, but we're skipping that game. Let's get to the first game Saturday. AC Milan hosting Lecce. AC Milan wins set at 1.38. Lecce wins set at 9. Line for total goals set at 2.5. And I'm going to take the over 2.5 goals in this spot. AC Milan has a kind of an important game coming up. Also, Europa League. They're hosting AS Roma. So maybe one eye on that game. But I do expect them to win here. But I can see Lecce scoring a goal. AC Milan not giving 100% effort. So I would take the over 2.5 goals here. What are you doing, Sergio?
Oh, over 2.5 seems like a good bet. Not much value in a win for AC Milan, and I don't see Lecce winning either. So
No,
over two and
probably
a half,
not.
yeah. Oh, over 2.5 is the favorite bet I think.
Yeah, and Lecce almost safe for next season in Serie A. May need a couple of more points, so that's why I can also see them scoring a goal here. So I'm just gonna take the over 2.5 goals in the spot. All right, next up, Roma hosting Lazio. Roma wins set at 2.28. Lazio wins set at 3.7. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now Roma will be visiting AC Milan in the Europa League, like I mentioned earlier. So also maybe one eye on that game, kind of an important game. But this is a derby, so I do think they will give 100% effort in this game. And since hiring De Rossi, Roma has basically lost one game. I know they lost against Brighton, but listen, man, they still advanced. This was kind of secure. And so, listen, man, Roma being at home, you just have to take Roma here, right?
Yeah, and especially also, you know, they're still got their eye on the fourth spot in the league. So I don't think that they're already thinking about AC Milan now. So because a Champions League spot for next season, I think it's also very important for them. So I even think that they're taking the game against Lazio even more serious.
Quite possibly, quite possibly. And that just further strengthens my point. I'm going to take Roma for a win here.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, next up, Empoli hosting Torino. Empoli wins set at 3.55. Torino wins set at 2.28. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now listen, the odds are telling you Torino is the better team, even being on the road. But Torino doesn't have anything left to play for. All but secure next season in Serie A, while Empoli still has something to play for. A need to pick up points to secure in a Serie A football next season. So that's why I'm leaning towards Empoli in this spot. I'm going to take a double chance for Empoli here. What are you doing, Sergio?
For that same reason, I'm actually going for Empoli win. Yeah, Torino at 2.28, also very interesting. A double chance possible, but a win at 3.55. I'm just going for a win for Empoli. I just feel something.
Yeah, great value, great value. And like Empoli is sitting 18th right now, basically on lock with Frosinone, same amount of points. So they really need the points. Torino, they're sitting comfortable at 9. May have an outside shot of catching Atalanta, but I can't see that happening. They would have to surpass Napoli and Lazio. Really can't see that happening. So Torino basically doesn't have much to play for, won't be very motivated. So I gotta take Empoli here in the spot. Like I said, I'm taking a double chance. Sergio, you're going for an outright win. Obviously, much more value.
Yeah.
So, all right, pick either one. Next up, Frosinone hosting Bologna. Frosinone wins set at 4.2. Bologna wins set at 1.91. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, listen, also Frosinone, a team playing for something here. Like I said, level on points with Empoli. So, fighting for a spot in Serie A next season, while Bologna is trying to hold on to that fourth spot. So both teams have something to play for, which is why I can see both teams getting on the score sheet here. Give me both teams to score, odds set at 1.78. That's my play here for this game. What are you doing here, Sergio?
I'm just going for a Bologna for a Bologna win at 1.9. That's also interesting. They really need to keep Roma at bay, and they know Roma's playing against Lazio this weekend, so it's possible that Roma can even drop a few points. So they are trying to maybe open the gap a little bit. So I'm just going for a Bologna win at 1.9. It's a very interesting one, especially against Frosinone.
Yeah, but the reason I took both teams to score, like I said, both teams have something to play for. 1.78, not much less value than the 1.9, but 1.9 obviously a little bit more value. Still, I'm gonna play both teams to score here. But obviously, Bologna is the better team, so I could understand why you would take a outright win for Bologna. All right, next up, Monza hosting Napoli. Monza wins set at 4.35. Napoli wins set at 1.86. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Monza has lost 4 home games all season against Roma, against Juve, against Inter, against Fiorentina. Now, you would think that Napoli is on the same level, but they haven't shown that in the recent games. Now, Napoli has won 1 road games in the last 10, the 6-1 against Sassuolo. Kind of an aberration. Now, they did play some good opponents during that stretch, but even against the mediocre teams like Torino and Cagliari, they were not able to win. So I have a hard time picking Napoli in this spot. What are you doing here?
I'm just going for a Monza win here. You know, I think Monza's form is a little bit better, and also, you know, it's a chance for them to enter the top 10. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just going for a Monza win. Napoli very disappointing, especially the last 4 games. I'm just going for a Monza win.
Yeah, it's very possible. And if you look at the last four games, Napoli has not scored more than once in the last four games. So obviously they really have stuff to figure out. And like I said, it's just really hard to trust them going on the road. So I'm not picking Mansa in the spot. I would rather play a double chance or maybe the over 2.5. But listen, I also can't take Napoli, so I kind of have to agree with you here and sprinkle something on a Monza win.
Yeah,
Very good value.
yeah, maybe combine it with Ajax win. So yeah, you know,
That'd be a crazy that would be a crazy
yeah,
parlay bet.
it's a very good combination. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Cagliari hosting Atalanta. Cagliari wins set at at 5. Sorry, Atalanta wins set at 1.71. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, also two teams that have something to play for. Cagliari 2 points above the drop, so want to at least keep that distance. Atalanta, they're sitting sixth right now. So European football next season. But Lazio is breathing down their neck, 4 points behind. So I'm gonna do same thing I did in 2 games ago. That's both teams to score. It's set at 1.74. Like I said, both teams have something to play for. So that would be my play here. And Atalanta coming off a road in a Coppa Italia game against Fiorentina, and now they go on the road against Cagliari. They're still the better team, but I can see Cagliari getting on the score sheet here. So I would play both teams to score. What are you doing here?
Yeah, both teams to score is very likely because I was looking more at a draw, and a 1-1 draw. I think is the most possible one if both teams score. So I'm going for a win for Atalanta. Yeah, I'm hesitating too much. I'm just going for a draw here.
All right. Next up, Hellas Verona hosting Genoa. Verona wins set at 2.7. Genoa wins set at 3. Line for total goals set at 2.5. But listen, the over 2.5 is set at 2.5, while the under 2.5 is set at 1.54. So they're not expecting a lot of goals in this game, and neither am I. Genoa is a team that really likes to defend, while Verona has scored 27 goals in 30 games, so averaging less than a goal a game. I would still lean slightly towards Verona because they're also a team on lock with Cagliari, 27 points, 2 points above the drop, while Genoa is sitting at 12, 35 points. So not all secure, but probably secure in Serie A next season. So I would just lean towards Hellas Verona. Or are you doing something here?
Stay away from the over 2.5. That's my first advice. And a lean towards Hellas Verona. Yeah, I can agree with you there. A draw is more likely, but yeah, a small lean towards Hellas Verona, but only because they're playing at home.
Yeah, I agree with you. A draw is much more likely. So if you would play something here, play the double chance for Hellas Verona. All right. Next up, Juve hosting Fiorentina. Juve wins set at 1.8. Fiorentina wins set at 5. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Juve, they haven't been great in recent games, but they did pick up a good win in the Coppa Italia in midweek, beating Lazio. They're sitting third right now, 2 points above Bologna, and they're like 7 points above Roma. So they have to win to keep that distance. Fiorentina is sitting 10th right now, 43 points. So basically, no chance more for European football next season. So they will shift their focus to the upcoming game next Thursday. So I would just have to take. I have to take Juve in this spot. They have a lot more to play for in the league. Give me Juve for a win. That's one of my favorite bets for the weekend. Are you doing something here?
Yeah, and they're also playing at home. Yeah, like you said, Fiorentina got their mindset on other things, so just a UV win. Not a high score, so over 2.5. I don't think that will happen also.
Yeah, I
So
would stay away from
just
that one. I would stay away
yeah,
from that one.
yeah, just a Juventus win.
All right, next up, Udinese hosting Inter. Udinese wins set at 7.5. Inter wins set at 1.46. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Udinese has picked up some impressive wins this season, beating some of the top four teams. So is Inter the next one on the list?
No, no, I don't. No, I don't think so. Not against Udinese. No, no. It's I think it's their standings too low. Mm, too no, no. I'm just going. I'm going for Inter win, and also the form of Udinese. Look at the last three games. Yeah, not that good. I think you need to be in better form to even trouble Inter. So.
Yeah, and
Just
although the Scudetto is all but secure, 14 points above AC Milan, Inter has nothing else to focus on. So all their focus is on the league, winning the league, which they will do in a couple of weeks. So just take Inter in the spot. All right, that wraps up Serie A. Let's get to the Bundesliga. First game on the schedule, Frankfurt hosting Werder Bremen, but also a Friday game. We're probably late for that one, so we're gonna skip that one. I would take Frankfurt for a win here. I like them being at home. Werder Bremen, obviously not a great team, especially on the road, and Frankfurt has a lot more to play for. Would you do something, Sergio?
No, also not. Like I said, yeah, Frankfurt win. I think that should, even though it's Friday, crazy things happen, but under normal circumstances, it should be a Frankfurt win.
All right, let's get to the next game, which I also will not be betting. Keulen hosting Bochum. Keulen wins set at 2.38. Bochum wins set at 3.05. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Listen, man, I don't like the over 2.5. I don't like the under. I don't like Keulen. I don't like Bochum. Also, don't like a draw. I'm just skipping this one. Are you doing something here, Sergio?
No, no, these two teams, I think they don't. They are just maybe Bochum is already focusing on next season, but Keulen, I think they're definitely going to the second Bundesliga. So yeah,
Yeah, Keulen is 1 point behind Mainz right now. So if they
yeah,
were to overtake Mainz, they would they would play the playoffs for the Bundesliga. So that would give them an outside chance to stay in the Bundesliga next season. So that may be a reason to take Keulen. But Bochum will defend like crazy. They're 6 points above Mainz. So Bochum will not want to lose this game. I don't like this game. Like I said, I'm just staying away from this game.
yeah, me also.
All right, next up, Heidenheim hosting Bayern Munich. Heidenheim wins set at 7.5. Bayern Munich wins set at 1.37. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now Bayern, obviously, no, not a chance to win the Bundesliga anymore, right? 13 points behind Leverkusen. It's all but done. But they do still play the Champions League, and they can shift their focus to the Champions League. So, which is why I won't be taking Bayern Munich in this spot. If you want to do something, you can maybe even sprinkle something on Heidenheim. What are you doing something, Sergio?
S- the loss against Dortmund was a little bit embarrassing, so I don't think that they will even, give Heidenheim a chance. Their focus is maybe on the Champions League, but they need to enter that game with a lot of confidence. So I think Heidenheim will be a perfect practice target for them. So
Yeah, and Heidenheim also doesn't have a lot to play for. They're sitting 11th right now, 30 points, 10 points above the drop, all but secure in the Bundesliga next season. I just thought that the 7.5, interesting odd, just sprinkle something, but you're right. Bayern Munich should win this game. They need the confidence heading into the Champions League game, and they should be pissed that they lost a home game against Dortmund.
after a
Also,
very long time.
yeah, and also Stuttgart is 3 points behind Bayern Munich. So although they can't win the Bundesliga anymore, they have Stuttgart breathing in their neck. So they need the points. All right. Next up, Union hosting Leverkusen. Union wins set at 6.1. Leverkusen wins set at 1.57. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, given that PSV lost last weekend to NEC, Leverkusen is the last man standing. So are they going down?
No, not against Union. I don't think it will be Union also. Union, yeah, I don't think that's it should be a team in the maybe a team in the top 10 the last remaining games. then I would maybe think it will happen, but not against Union.
Leverkusen also has an important game coming up. They'll be hosting West Ham next Thursday. But I think the Bundesliga is much more important to them.
Yes, yes, of course. Bundesliga, they haven't won it in like forever. So, so of course, that's I think that's their main target.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. All right, next up, Freiburg hosting Leipzig. Freiburg wins set at 4.75. Leipzig wins set at 1.68. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, Freiburg, their coach announced that he will be leaving at the end of the season, and players were kind of motivated in the last game, beating Gladbach. So, can you see the same happening here?
No, I'm still leaning towards Leipzig, and also they have yeah, the odds are not that great, but still 1.7. Yeah, it's worth the try. But Freiburg, no, I'm not seeing them winning this game.
Yeah, and Leipzig has a very good chance. Dortmund will be hosting Stuttgart. We'll touch on that later, but Leipzig is 3 points behind Dortmund right now, so they may see this as a chance to get on level points with Dortmund and overtake them for the fourth spot. So Leipzig should be motivated to win this game.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Mainz hosting Darmstadt. Mainz wins set at 1.41. Darmstadt wins set at 8. God damn. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now listen, Mainz, Mainz is 16th in the league right now. They've scored 22 goals in 27 games. They have 20 points. So they secured the playoff spot for the Bundesliga. And Darmstadt is visiting Mainz, and the odd is like 8. How bad do you have to be to have an odd of 8 against Mainz?
Yeah,
God damn.
yeah, they're really bad, I'm sure. But Darmstadt hasn't won in 21 games, so I think that explains it. I'm not seeing the winning for sure. Not yeah, maybe a draw is the most logical thing to happen. The last game 2-2 against Bochum. So they scored 2 goals, so that's something to cheer about. But
That's
still,
all
no.
that's about it.
Yeah, yeah, that's about it. So
Yeah, and listen, man, I might do something here, but listen, I have a hard time, so I have a much less confidence than what I will be doing in the Ajax versus Feyenoord game. But if you take Darmstadt and starting the game up 2-0, you still get an odd of 1.7. So that's a somewhat good value. But listen, man, they lost 6-0 against Augsburg, so I'm not betting that with too much confidence.
no, it's stay away from me this game. So I'm not trusting Mainz even. So maybe a draw can happen.
Yeah. All right, next up, this is obviously an interesting game. Borussia Dortmund hosting Stuttgart. Dortmund wins set at 2.25. Stuttgart wins set at 2.95. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, Dortmund, they have a lot of things to focus on. Obviously, they have the Champions League, but also they want to secure Champions League football next season. They have been great coming out of the winter break. They've lost one game against Hoffenheim, and listen, man, they played very well in that game. They easily should have won that game. Hoffenheim really got lucky in that game. So now they're playing at home, hosting a very good Stuttgart team, but still, I like Dortmund in this spot. Are you doing something here?
They had a huge win against Bayern, and usually the next game should be.
It should be a letdown, but going home, another important game. Uh,
I'm I'm just going for a double chance Stuttgart and maybe even a Stuttgart win. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Dortmund, maybe they also have their mind on the Champions League. The win against Bayern, mm, maybe a little bit in a celebration mode. I'm going for a Stuttgart to win, or maybe just a double chance for Stuttgart.
My play here would be the over 3.5 goals. It's set at 2. I can easily see that happening. Stuttgart has scored 63 goals in the league, third highest scoring team in the league, and Dortmund playing at home. They should score once, maybe even twice. So I like the over 3.5 goals in the spot. That would be my play for this game. All right, next up, Hoffenheim hosting Augsburg. Hoffenheim wins set at 2.23. Augsburg wins set at 3.05. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, listen, 3 straight losses for Hoffenheim, but 3 good to very good opponents. Augsburg also on a bit of a hot streak. These teams are very close to each other, so pretty much feels like a draw here. What are you doing here, Sergio?
I'm going for Hoffenheim just because they lost the last 3 games and now playing against Augsburg at home, and Augsburg has a very good streak. I think maybe even too good of a streak for Augsburg. So I think that maybe a win for Hoffenheim is a closer.
Yeah, obviously 3 straight losses. Like I said, Leverkusen, Stuttgart, and Frankfurt. So 3 good to very good opponents. Now you get some breathing room hosting a team like Augsburg. It's a very good chance to build your confidence, get a win. So I would agree with you there. All right, next up, Wolfsburg hosting Gladbach. Wolfsburg wins set at 1.95. Gladbach wins set at 3.85. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Gladbach has not won a road game since end September last year. Now, they started the season with a couple of good games on the road, wins, some draws. But if you look back the last couple of years, Gladbach has been a very bad team on the road. Now, last week, we didn't expect Wolfsburg to win against Bremen, but it was a crazy game. Bremen picked up an early red card, but that was a good confidence boost for Wolfsburg. Now they return home, host a team like Gladbach that has just been awful on the road in the last 4 to 5 months. So I can see Wolfsburg winning this game. Are you doing something here?
Yeah, only because they're playing at home. I'm leaning towards Wolfsburg, and like you said, Gladbach, very very bad away team. So Wolfsburg, I think it's a chance for them for a back-to-back win, and especially entering with confidence after the win over Werder. So I'm just going for a Wolfsburg win.
All right, I also like Wolfsburg, and actually one of my favorite plays for the week. That wraps up the Bundesliga. So, and that wraps up all picks and leans for the upcoming weekend. Like I said, no La Liga games this weekend. So I will give a quick recap for my best bets for the weekend. I got Ajax starting the game up 2-0 against Feyenoord. That's just free money for me. Like I told you guys, 1.68 is the odd. I like that. Arsenal winning against Brighton, 1.65. Also not great value, but very good value. Arsenal really wants to win the Premier League. Juventus winning against Fiorentina. Frosinone, Bologna, both teams to score. The game Wolves, West Ham, I have a double chance for Wolves and over 1.5 goals for the game. And I have Wolfsburg for a win. What do you have, Sergio?
Yeah, I'm going in full metal jacket this week.
All right.
Yeah, going for the Ajax win, Fulham win, also Vitesse NEC over 2.5, a Wolves win, and also a Monza win. And I sprinkled something on Roma also, so probably that's also a Roma win.
Oh man, those are some really gutsy plays, and man, you will be laughing your teeth off Monday if these games hit. All right, now like I said, that wraps up all picks and leads for the upcoming weekend. Also the best bets, like we always tell you guys, bet smart, bet with your head, set your limits, and stay within your means. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Yeah, have a great weekend, everybody.